Today on the Independent Paradox, let's talk about the final presidential debate and my take on some of the news leading into it. So, tonight is the final presidential debate. Granted, President Trump has been debating the media for the last couple of weeks, but this is the last between the two actual presidential candidates. So, here's my hope for tonight. President Trump needs to get out of his own way, but that's if the moderator actually does her job and this doesn't turn into another debate of Biden and the moderator versus Trump. If it turns into President Trump having to debate them both, then of course it could get ugly, most likely will, mic muted or not. I also think President Trump could do himself a huge favor if he would actually say what over the last 3.5 years that he could have done different or should have done different or what he will do different in the next 4 years. I think that's one thing that the American people are definitely missing, not his base, but generally the other percentage of those undecided voters is him being a real person with them and not just telling everyone how great he is and tooting his own horn. I do think if we have a fair debate tonight and Kristen Welker can put her bias to the side and do her job, the mic mute might actually work in President Trump's favor. I've got a feeling that I probably share with the rest of the country that's probably not what's going to happen. And I'm sure in a way Biden supporters want it to all fall apart. And honestly, probably President Trump's base would like to see him go off as well. Here's where the nonpartisan, conservative, independent me struggles. I really want to see a clean debate. I mean, that's who I am. I want to hear facts. I don't want opinion. Just give me the facts. Don't give me the scenic route to everything. Just short, precise, and let me hear what the real story is. I want to hear the real issues talked about. I want to actually hear a real plan that Joe Biden has, not everything that Donald Trump has done wrong and then I just do it different. Let me know what you're actually going to do. That's not going to happen, but it would be nice. Watching the clips of the 60 Minutes interview that Leslie Stahl did with President Trump that, some of the unreleased footage is starting coming out. If Kristen Welker does what Leslie Stahl did, does what Savannah Guthrie did during the supposed town hall, then I don't think any Republican plan for the president to hold back is going to last very long. Like I said, mic muted or not. At this point, Joe Biden's campaign is playing keep away. Just don't let him answer anything hard. Keep him in hiding as much as possible. Just get through tonight. Only answer the questions he's been prepped on and move along to the vote. I mean, we've literally seen Joe Biden's staff step in on a Zoom interview and cut him off, saying, "Okay, that's enough. Got to make sure there's nothing asked that hasn't been prepped and preloaded into that teleprompter." As I've said before, they just don't want to do whatever they can that would screw this up. That's the whole thing that they're trying to avoid. There's not gonna be any foreign policy questions asked tonight. We know Joe would screw that up, and there definitely won't be anything about his son, Hunter Biden, unless, of course, President Trump brings it up. We know he's going to, and I got a feeling we also know that that mute button is going to be working very quickly if he does. You think Twitter and Facebook censored the Hunter Biden story? Wait and see what happens tonight. We've seen social media and mainstream media leave up unsubstantiated, anonymous, no source news about President Trump. Oh yeah, yeah. We had actually an impeachment over phony sources. Can't forget that. We also know there are still false stories up on Twitter, just recent, about the Proud Boys sending threatening emails to Democratic supporters saying, "You're going to vote our way, or we're going to hurt you and your family." And that's all been proven to be Iranian election interference. But is mainstream media or Twitter or Facebook or anyone bothering to take that disinformation down? No, of course not. And we now have from reliable sources there is a real story about the Biden family profiting from doing favors for foreign governments. Hunter Biden's business partner has confirmed in text messages that Joe Biden met with the CEO of a Biden sons and Chinese energy firm joint venture. The media wants to try to claim that none of these reports can be verified. All of this information is far more verifiable than most anything that's put out against President Trump. And right now, the Democratic defense to this is that the American people don't want to hear about it, that we're so much more concerned with how we're going to put food on our tables and deal with the pandemic that none of this other stuff really matters. This is ridiculous. The American people not only want to know, but deserve to know if the Democratic nominee is as corrupt as some of the new information coming out appears to suggest that he is. I'm also sure there's going to be some questions on the economy and unemployment, and they're going to point to the current unemployment rate and blame all of that on Trump's mismanagement of the pandemic. Yeah, I get all that. That's the talking points. And President Trump's going to talk about what it was like before the pandemic. That's his talking point. The thing is, like I said before, we just need to hear real plans. I know things are different in every part of the country, but here's what I know is happening where I live. Employers can't find employees. You can drive up and down any street in the city I live in and any of the cities around me, and you're going to see almost every business has a now hiring sign. I live in an area that currently has tremendous job growth, and as of right now, pre election is expected to continue that way for the next 5 to 7 years. Yes, most of the jobs are high paying for highly skilled and educated applicants, but there's also a lot of jobs where I see that they're paying well for those that don't have college degrees or specific skills. It's been that way here for months. Immediately after the pandemic started, yes, we had problems. Yes, things shut down. Yes, some people lost their jobs. But I know there are people unable to find jobs, or in some areas of the country the cost of living is way above some of the income that they can make. But fact is, a lot of them, they're not looking for jobs. Again, that's what I'm seeing where I live. I talk to business owners every day, and they just can't get enough applicants to fill the openings that they currently have. I really think a lot of people just got way too comfortable on all that extra unemployment they were getting for a while. Democrats know they're going to, you know, they're going to get to hear from Joe Biden what they expect to hear. And it's just going to be him just trying to get through the night without making any mistakes. Republicans know that if President Trump is pushed, he's going to get heated. The base wants it. They want to see that fire. They want to see him argue. But I'm telling you, as an independent conservative, that the American people want to hear more than that. We don't want to hear the bickering back and forth. Yeah, it's great TV, it's great entertainment. Joe's gonna be rolling his eyes. Trump's gonna be calling people names. I mean, we know all this is gonna happen. We've seen it happen over and over and over. So let's cut through all that. We we need to see both candidates pushed on their policies. Let the American people decide who needs to be leading this country. When President Trump is pushed on unemployment and the economy, he doesn't just need to talk about how great he sees himself. We all know how great he thinks he is. He needs to talk about how in the Obama Biden administration, homeownership was at its lowest in 50 years. On crime, the Obama Biden administration made zero progress on the murder rate in the US. It was the same the day that they left the office as the day that they came into office. Median household income was up 5.3% under Obama Biden, while at the same time, food stamp recipients increased 33%. And also at the same time, health insurance premiums, they were up 43%. Under President Trump, even in the middle of a pandemic, median household income is up, real weekly earnings are up, home prices and home ownership are up, the stock market is up, corporate profits are down. Biden likes to talk about how Trump only cares about these corporate profits. Fact of the matter is, they're down. Food stamp recipients are down. And here's one for you. Under Obama, handgun production was up 207%. And while under President Trump, it's down 35.2%. Figure that one out. Under Obama, the poverty rate was down about half a point. Under Trump, in a pandemic, with all of this negative job news and everything that the Democrats are saying that President Trump has done to hurt the economy, the poverty rate has dropped 1.6 points. You can't tell me in the middle of everything happening that our economy still isn't better than it was under Obama Biden administration. That's with the Trump economy dealing with something the Obama Biden economy never even came close to having to deal with. Once we have this pandemic behind us, can you imagine how strong our economy is actually going to be? Why would we want to go back to the way that it was before? I really hope we have a clean, unbiased, civil debate tonight. I know that's wishful thinking, but it is truly what the American people deserve to hear. Honesty and respect from both sides. Well, I mean, all three sides, because we have to include Kristen Welker in that wishful thinking. Now, as I've previously said, I'm not a Republican. I know most of my opinions are going to come across that way. I don't support everything that everyone running on their platform claims to support, but I am conservative, both as a matter of my faith and as a matter of how I believe the Constitution should be interpreted. Of course, this is going to make me lean more towards the Republican Party, but that's only based on the alignment of how I think the Constitution should be read and how the Republican Party generally leans. I am a firm believer that as a citizen of the United States of America, that you have the freedom to live your life without interference as long as what you do causes no harm to those around you, either directly or indirectly. You have the right to love who you want to love and do what you want to do within the letter of our law. It's your business. I believe that's the founding principles, the foundation of our Constitution, what our founding fathers believed. That doesn't mean that I have to agree with your choices or your lifestyle, and you may not agree with mine. It's not for me to decide how you should live your life, nor for you to decide how I should live mine. Stay out of my business and I'll stay out of yours. Have empathy for each other because, I mean, we will all answer for ourselves when that time comes. Thank you.